Grandpa in my pocket! There was a lot going on in the Mason house today. Yes! Mum was in the kitchen doing her latest hobby, making fancy dress costumes.
Aren't I just the most beautiful fairy tale fairy that you've ever seen?
And it wasn't just Great Aunt Loretta who was dressing up. We were all going to the Sunnysands fancy dress party. And we all had to be fairy tale characters.
What's so funny? You'll laugh on the other side of your face when you see what you're wearing.
Grandpa, time to try your costume on. You too, Jason.
What do you think we're going to be, Jason?
I hope it's something good, like a knight in shining armour.
I fancy being a giant. Thought it'd make a change.
But Mum had other ideas for us. Yes, we were going to the fancy dress party as... Big Elf, Little Elf.
What do you think?
Very nice.
Very nice. We don't look very nice. We look very fantastical and very fairy tale-like.
I know.
Especially me.
I know.
But you've taken so long making these that you're going to run out of time.
I know. I've still got Dad and Jemima's costume to finish and I haven't even started on my own.
Exactly. You need help. Luckily, I know someone who's absolutely brilliant at making costumes. My very good friend, Mrs. Maridadi.
Mrs. Maridadi wears the most amazing and unusual clothes. Like this. And this.
And here she is now.
Mrs. Maridadi makes them all herself.
Darlings, I came as soon as I heard the terrible news.
What terrible news?
I gather you have a costume crisis, a dressing up disaster, a fancy dress fiasco.
Well, I just said we needed a bit of help.
You need an enormous amount of help. Who made these dreadful costumes?
I did. I thought they were rather good.
Oh, no, darling. The colours clash, the bows are too big, the skirt's too short. Your wand is bent. And what are you two supposed to be?
Big Elf.
And Little Elf.
But you can't possibly be elves. Everybody knows that elves wear green. You cannot have a red elf. And they don't wear big beards like this. These are for gnomes. And what about your caps? Everybody knows that elves wear flower petal caps.
Actually, this is exactly what elves look like.
Oh, yes, and how would you know? You've never seen one. Unless you're telling me you have elves at the bottom of your garden.
I think I'd better get on.
Things weren't going very well for Grandpa, and they were about to get a whole lot worse.
I know what we can use for Grandpa's flower petal cap. This whole thing.
No!
You can't! Grandpa's cap is magic, and when he puts it on, he shrinks, like this. And this. And this.
Catch me if you can!
I'm the only one who knows about Grandpa's magic shrinking cap, and we couldn't have everybody finding out about it now. That would be a disaster.
Give it back, Loretta.
I won't.
But it doesn't look anything like an elf's cap.
It doesn't now, but it will. Oh, try it on for me, please, darling.
No, I don't want to.
Do as you're told, Grandpa.
Oh, come on, don't be a silly elf. Oh,
I had to do something. If Mrs. Maridadi put Grandpa's cap on his head, everybody was going to get the shock of their lives.
Now he's gone for a little lie down. Typical.
oh, it doesn't matter, darling. Once I've turned this into a divine flower petal cap, he'll never want to take it off. Now, show me what everybody else is wearing. My things, darling?
So off she went to make Grandpa a flower petal cap and to see what everyone else was wearing. It's all right, Grandpa, they're gone.
We've got to get the shrinking cap back, Jason.
But the shrinking cap was already a flower petal cap, and now...
You don't look like a king. You look like a strawberry ice cream sundae. The breeches are too tight, the shirt's not ruffly enough, and the crown is too big.
I thought I looked perfect.
So did I.
I didn't.
And who are you?
A fairy tale princess, of course.
More like the kitchen maid. You'd look better in a sleeping bag, darling, but not to worry. I can fix it. I can fix anything. Ah, see what I mean? A flower petal cap. Fixed.
Great! Let's see what it looks like on Grandpa. Don't lurk, Jason. I can't stand lurking. Oi, Grandpa, don't be so lazy. Come on out, try your cap on.
No.
Oh, he always was awkward, ever since he was a little boy.
Let me try Great Aunt Loretta. He might do it for me.
Oh, thank you, Jason. What a helpful little elf you are. Oi, hurry up, Grandpa. Mrs. Maridadi wants you in the garden.
The good news was I had Grandpa's shrinking cap. The bad news was it was covered in flower petals. I've got it, Grandpa. You can come out now.
Well done, Jason.
Of course, Grandpa being Grandpa had a plan.
So, Mrs. Maridadi wants to see me in the garden, does she? Right. Shrinking cap, please, Jason.
Quickly then, shrink, Grandpa, shrink! You know what Grandpa's like when he's got a plan. There's no stopping him. Off he ran through the sitting room and across the kitchen.
There are too many people about. I've got to get her on her own.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Oh, where's Grandpa? Did he put his cap on?
Oh, yes.
Should think so too. Where is he then?
I'm not sure.
Going back to bed, I expect. I never knew such a lazy elf.
Oh, it's no good. They're still not working. They look dreadful. Ghastly. A complete and utter disaster. What are we going to do? I need a clever idea.
You're not going to rip them up and start from scratch, are you, Mrs. Maridadi?
Aha! That's the clever idea.
No way! I love my costume! I got rid of Jemima.
So do I.
And Dad.
Actually, I quite like mine as well.
And Great Aunt Loretta.
How dare you run away like that? Come back! Oh, this is too much. Too much.
Now, I just had to get rid of
We're
Mum.
working with an artiste of the very highest quality. What are we going to do?
I expect Mrs. Maridadi would like a cup of tea.
I think we could all do with one.
Now it was up to Grandpa.
Well, well, well. If it isn't the famous costume maker, Mrs. Maridadi. Come back. I want to talk to you. Now, there's nothing to be scared of. Not everyone gets to meet a real live elf.
You're an elf?
But of course I'm an elf. Red jerkin, red trousers, fluffy white beard, pointy shoes. What else could I be but a cute little elf?
I don't know. I've never seen a cute little elf before.
This time Grandpa had gone too far.
Oh, you're divine. And you look just like Grandpa and Jason.
Too right I do. And Dad looks just like a fairy tale king, and Jemima is exactly like a fairy tale princess.
Really? Are you sure?
Well, I should know. I come from fairy tale land after all. And as for Loretta, she's the spitting image of all the fairies I've ever met.
Oh, darling, I had no idea. How sweet of you to tell me.
You don't have to do a thing with those costumes. They're perfect just as they are.
I understand, darling.
You go home and leave them to it. But don't tell anyone you met me. No one will believe you anyway.
It'll be our secret. Promise.
And with that, Grandpa jumped off her hand and was gone.
Oh, well. At least I got the flower petal cap right.
Cup of tea, Mrs. Maridadi.
Oh, no thanks, darling. I'm going home. You don't need me. You're a wonderful costume maker. I just want to say you all look absolutely divine. As as if you'd just stepped out of a fairy tale. I'm off now to make my own costume. See you at the party.
I always knew she was peculiar.
I rushed out to the garden just as Grandpa came out of his hiding place. He took off his flower petal shrinking cap and came back to his normal size.
You make a great elf, Grandpa.
So do you, Jason. Teamwork, eh?
Teamwork.
We all helped Mum to finish the costumes. And soon we were ready to go to the Sunnysands fancy dress party. Dad was a king, Jemima was a princess, Great Aunt Loretta was a fairy, and Mum was a pumpkin.
You look divine.
I know.
Come on, let's go.
Put your cap on, Grandpa.
I don't think so.
Grandpa in my pocket! It was Christmas Eve in Sunnysands, and we were going to have a special Christmas Eve supper. Great Aunt Loretta was busy making stuffing, and Mum was busy writing a Christmas song.
I need to put lots of Christmassy things into it. Any ideas?
How about stuffing?
Right. Okay. Stuffing.
Mind your backs.
Ah, the Christmas tree!
Brilliant. The Christmas tree. Of course.
Oh, Christmas. It's such a magical time, isn't it?
Don't be silly, Grandpa. Here, stir my stuffing. I don't believe in all this magic nonsense.
You don't believe in the magic of Christmas? Huh. We'll soon see about that.
And off went Grandpa.
I mean, really, Christmas is all about magic. Elves and flying reindeer
And Father Christmas bringing presents.
Quite. And fairies.
Oh yes, Grandpa was going to teach Great Aunt Loretta all about the magic of Christmas. Soon, our Christmas tree was up and it was...
Time for a trip to Miss Smiley's cafe.
We always go to Miss Smiley's on Christmas Eve at tea time.
I suppose you'll be hoping for a magic Christmas cake, Grandpa.
The only way to prove to Loretta that Christmas is a magical time is to try a little of my own.
Not a shrinking cap, Grandpa.
Catch me if you can!
But Grandpa was determined to try a little magic of his own. Now, as you know, I'm the only one who knows about Grandpa's magic shrinking cap, and nobody else can find out. Grandpa! When he shrinks, everyone else thinks he's gone for a little lie down, when in fact, he's getting up to all kinds of mischief. He drives off in my car, he flies about in my plane, and he hides in all kinds of very small places. Today I had no idea where he was. Suddenly I saw him, but just then I heard...
Hello? Anybody home?
It was Mr. Like a Biker. Mr. Like a Biker is called Mr. Like a Biker because he's always saying things like...
Oh, I like a saddle with comfy padding. Oh,
He likes everything to do with bikes. Everything. So, it was no surprise that his Christmas present to us was...
ta-da!
Oh, it's a Christmas wreath made from a bicycle wheel with bells and hooters.
As everyone was admiring it, I saw Grandpa run in. He jumped up onto the dresser.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I know. Why don't we put it up here, eh? Where you can all see it. Where's Grandpa?
Oh, he's being a sulky socks and having a little lie down because I said I don't believe in the magic of Christmas.
Oh, but everybody believes in that.
Suddenly, Grandpa went bonkers with all the bells and poppers. And the wreath was jingling and jangling like crazy.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Brilliant! That was you, Mr. Like a Biker. How did you do that?
It wasn't me. It was magic.
Oh, you're such a big tease.
Everyone was so busy laughing that they didn't see Grandpa jump off the shelf into my pocket.
Right, come on everyone, or Miss Smiley won't have any cakes left. We'll see you later, Mr. Like a Biker, for Christmas Eve supper.
And a sing-song.
Oh, I like a sing-song, I do.
So off we all went in campo to Miss Smiley's cafe. Miss Smiley is called Miss Smiley because she's always smiling. And what's more, she makes the most delicious treats ever. And today she'd made Sunnysands Christmas cupcakes. Grandpa had jumped out of my pocket and was up on a shelf.
Mr. Mentor, I've got an extra special surprise for you. Wait till you hear what it is.
I'm all ears.
Mr. Mentor the inventor lives in the lighthouse in Sunnysands. He's always inventing weird and wonderful things. And sometimes he even invents things that he doesn't even know he's invented. He was very excited about his present from Miss Smiley.
Ta-da!
Oh, what a spectacular Christmas pudding. It's absolutely wonderbubble.
Mr. Mentor invents words as well as things.
Thank you so much, Miss Smiley. I'll bring it with me this evening for supper.
I was the only one who saw what Grandpa did next. He jumped into the pudding.
Christmas is such a magical time, isn't it?
Not someone else going on about magic.
It is, Mr. Mentor. I'm even writing a song about the magic of Christmas. I'm trying to put in lots of Sunnysands Christmassy things. I've got,
Stuffing?
yes, and a tree, and, a wreath that ting-a-lings.
And a pudding that sings. La 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 la.
It's a magical bubble pudding.
Nonsense. That was you, Mr. Mentor. You're always inventing things that talk and sing.
Well, I suppose I am, without even knowing it. And now I've invented a singing pudding. Oh, you want to come to the lighthouse and see all the other remarkable things I've invented, Loretta?
Oh, I'll come right away, Mr. Mentor.
Before I could do anything, Grandpa went off to the lighthouse in Mr. Mentor's pudding. While Great Aunt Loretta was admiring Mr. Mentor's Christmas inventions, Grandpa, being Grandpa, has a plan.
Oh, that's a lovely little Santa you've invented there, Mr. Mentor. What does it do?
Well, at the moment, I'm not quite sure. But I am sure that whenever it does what it's supposed to do, it will be remarkable.
Oh, it will be. It will be. Now, I've just got to pop over to Mr. Whoops's shop to get a few last-minute bits and pieces. I'll see you for supper tonight.
At that moment, Grandpa made his way towards the little Santa in the sleigh. He was up to something. Of course, I didn't know what Grandpa was up to, but I needed to get to the lighthouse to rescue him.
Oh, look at our fairy. She's so old and tatty.
We really need a new fairy, Dad. We really do. Hey, let's go to the lighthouse and ask Mr. Mentor to invent us a new fairy.
If Mr. Mentor invents a fairy, Jason, there's no knowing what it might do. But Mr. Whoops is bound to have fairies in his toy shop.
Yeah, let's go to Mr. Whoops's.
So, off we went to Mr. Whoops's shop, and while Jemima was choosing a fairy, Great Aunt Loretta was choosing wrapping paper. And guess who else was there?
This is rubbish.
Floyd. He goes to my school, and he thinks everything is rubbish.
You can't have Christmas without fairies now, can you? It's a magical time.
Oh, you're into this Christmas magic stuff too, Mr. Whoops.
Of course I am.
I'm not. It's rubbish.
I didn't really want to be here. I wanted to be in the lighthouse, rescuing Grandpa. But I needn't have worried. Grandpa knew exactly how to escape from the lighthouse on a sleigh.
Remarkable, just as I thought. A flying sleigh.
I don't believe in any of that magic stuff. Fairies, elves, and as for Santa, flying on a sleigh.
But at that very moment, in Santa flew.
Ho, ho, ho!
Only it wasn't Santa, of course. It was Grandpa.
It's amazing.
He can never resist a trip to Mr. Whoops's shop. And luckily, I was there.
Now that looks like magic to me.
Nonsense. It's one of Mr. Mentor's inventions. He said he'd do something remarkable, and he just has. You'll be wondering where it's gone.
Jemima was just about to pick up Grandpa. Don't! I mean, hurry, you haven't chosen a fairy yet. Could Grandpa change Floyd's mind? Psst.
Magic.
Oh, yes. I brought the sleigh home to give back to Mr. Mentor later.
Fairy on the tree.
And I'll wake up Grandpa.
No! Grandpa was really tired. I think we should wait till supper time before we wake him up.
Oh, if you say so, Jason. Now then, I must add Santa to my song. He's the most magical thing about Christmas, isn't he?
This magic, that. Ah!
Hurry up and get back in your clothes, Grandpa.
But we haven't managed to persuade Loretta that Christmas is magical yet. I've got another idea. The fairy.
While Grandpa put his next plan into action, everyone arrived. We were just waiting for Great Aunt Loretta.
Right, Grandpa, have you stopped being a sulky socks about all that magic nonsense? Wake up, it's time for supper.
Oh, goody, goody.
Who said, oh, goody, goody?
I did. I'm the magical Christmas fairy. Don't be frightened. I'm a good fairy. I make all the magic happen.
I don't believe in all that magic. I'm more down to earth about Christmas, I am. I do things like stuffing. You should try my stuffing.
Yum.
It is. But now I've seen you, I think Christmas might be a magical time after all.
What's the matter, Loretta?
Nothing.
Have a little sit down.
I'm fine. I've just been sprinkled with a bit of Christmas magic. That's all. Christmas magic.
Very speedily, Grandpa got out of the fairy dress and jumped down from the tree. He whipped off his shrinking cap and came back to his normal size.
Well, we convinced Loretta about Christmas magic in the nick of time, Jason.
We did, Grandpa, even if it did mean you had to be a fairy.
Teamwork, I call it.
Teamwork.
Oh, Grandpa's up!
Just in time to sing my Christmas song.
It's Christmas in Sunnysands, and it's a magical time, you'll see.
There are lots of special treats
Like stuffing.
And sweets.
and the lights are all twinkling on the Christmas tree.
It's magic.
It's magic. There's magic all over the world. There's a wreath that ting-a-lings.
And a pudding that sings.
Oh, this is the magic of Christmas. It's Christmas in Sunnysands, and it's a magical place to go.
All the girls and boys are hoping there'll be toys. Will Santa come to visit?
With a ho-ho-ho, it's magic.
It's magic.
There's magic all over the world.
There's a fairy on the tree.
Who had a word with me?
'Cause this is the magic, yes, this is the magic. Let's share in the magic of Christmas.
Soon it would be time for us to hang up our stockings, and the real Christmas magic would begin. It's magic.
It's magic.
Yes, this is the magic of Christmas.